far for the Bears. Brian saying that after just 1 over, it looked a pretty good pitch. I don't think we've seen anything to change our opinion on that. It looks as it's not exactly straw coloured, but looks as though it might have a little bit of moisture in it. But certainly both batsmen have found the middle of their bats, and Yates in particular, 2 really attractive drives through the offside. Looks in great nick. He's on 18 off 9. Davis is 14 off 9. Ideal start for the Bears. Pat Brown being introduced into the attack as Brett D'Oliveira quickly rotates his bowlers in an attempt to stop the flow, really. Brown in from the Diglis end, bowls, and Davis looking to work this one away on the onside. Is taken on the pad, and it runs away on the leg side for a leg bye, and the score moves on to 34 without loss. And Yates, who has looked in particularly good touch, is on strike now. Tall left-hander waits now as Brown comes in, long striding run at bowls, and beats Yates with a slight change of pace there. Yates looking to work it away on the onside. Just, I think, played too early. Ball died on him and bounced again before it reached Ben Cox behind the stumps. 34 without loss it remains. The Bears off to an excellent start, having been put into bat by Brett D'Oliveira when he won the toss here tonight at, as Brian Alford said, a glorious new road. And here's Brown again in, bowl short. Yates hammers that away on the leg side. Only gets a single because he picked out Hose on the boundary in front of the pavilion. But even though he only got a single, onto it so quickly, hit it so firmly. The shot of a man who looks confident, looks in good form.
He's a very accomplished player, Frank. I think he also, during his career, has had the great honour of being coached by yourself, I think.
There might be one or two. There might be one or two. Here's Brown from the Diglis end, in again, bowls, and Davis on the back foot. Only a small man. This one banged in a little bit short by Brown. He does vary his length quite well. That's one of his strengths at the death. And Davis can't get this away, just pushes it out on the onside. He's been tested quite severely in the last 2 or 3 games, Pat Brown, at the end of the game. And, it hasn't always gone as well as he would have liked. But he's always willing to do that. He's always willing to put his hand up and bowl at the death. I think he gets a lot of stick when it doesn't come off, but all the bowlers in this competition know that's a struggle sometimes. He changed his pace again here, and again Davis is beaten, not by a particularly good delivery in terms of line and length. It was a bit short and a bit wide, and he thought he could cut it, and he probably could have done, but it was that variation in pace from Brown which defeated the attempted cut. So good over so far from Brown. 1 ball left. Brian pointed out quite rightly that Worcestershire have gone to the boundary off the last ball of every one of the first 3 overs, I think, so far. Will it happen here? Brown is in. He bowls to Davis, and it will. So there you go. This time he doesn't vary his pace. It's a little bit, maybe not quite as wide as the one before, but Davis got inside it, gave himself a bit of room, played a very deliberate, I suppose what we would have called a back cut back in the day, and ran it firmly down to third man for an excellent boundary. So good end to the over for the Bears. 39 without loss of 4. This is an excellent power play.
The Bears needed that boundary. It was a really good over from Pat Brown. Just a single until that last ball 4. But the Rapids will be wanting to break through here, because if you get through the power play with 0 or 1 wicket down, then it really does give scope for the fellas to follow, to have a real attack. And there is some quite interesting firepower in the Bears ranks today.
Pennington's changed ends, bowling from the New Road end, driven nicely, but straight to wait at wide mid-off, and they'll pick up a comfortable single. These two have looked very comfortable so far. There's been nothing that we've seen from the pitch that looks as though there's any demons in there. Seems to be coming onto the bat nicely, and admittedly we're at the early stages, 4.1 overs, but this has got 200 plus written all over it. Pennington, bright sunshine, running away from us. Ball short of the length, and that's pulled easily over the infield again, over mid-wicket. And again, don't think he got all of it, but he got enough. And the Hose was the only man out on the boundary, and he had no chance of getting round to that from square leg to mid-wicket, and 4 more to the total.
Yes, that's the second or third time Alex Davies has not connected crisply with the ball, but he's avoiding the fielders and finding the gaps, so we'll settle for that.
Pressure really on these Rapids bowlers at the moment. Pennington bowls short again, and it's played one-handed by Davis, pulling it down to Hose at deep square leg, takes it on the bounce, and they're through for another comfortable single. Until in the test match, England 357 for 8, with Root on 95, Robinson on 5. Bit of normal service resumed there with Robinson 5 from 21 balls, and Joe Root's strike rate at a mere 67. Next delivery's played nicely, just cut down to deep backward point.
He really does look in great form, doesn't he, Robbie? I mean, you see people come in T20 and whack it, but he's just even the shots he's going to get in singles for, he's timing it so well, isn't he?
He is. As I was saying, it's looking very comfortable for them. You think if it carries on like this, then when they do start to open up, it could be as at Headingley last week, chasing a big total, the Rapids later on in the evening. Davis, right-handed, goes down, waits, and then waits for the ball to come onto him, just tucked it square onto the leg side. Hose again, the fielder, and they come through for 1. So we're coming towards that point as the last ball in the over. Is it going to go to the boundary as in previous ones? Pennington gives the ball a good drying on his shirt, his sweaty hands on this hot day. And this is an over where we won't see a boundary off the final ball because it kept a little bit low there. And Yates, in trying to cut it, just got underneath the ball, and it went through to Ben Cox. And at the end of 5 overs, the run rate is at 9.4, with the Bears having been put in 47 without loss. Yates on 21 and Davis on 24.
Yeah, it's a really good power play, isn't it? As you were saying, Brian, if you can get through a power play without losing a wicket, that's great. If you can get through a power play without losing a wicket and you've got best part of 60 or so on the board, that's the platform for a really big one, isn't it?
It is. Well, Pat Brown is going to bowl the last over of the power play, and he would love to get amongst the Bears' wickets. Who comes next for the Bears is an interesting one. Of course, Sam Hain and Moeen Ali, the batting engine room of the previous game, are both not here. Hain out with a hamstring injury, and Moeen away with England as Brown comes in, and Davies sets himself very early for a lap and scoops it over the wicketkeeper's head for 4.